What's up, everybody? In this video, I want to discuss a video that's gone up in the past 24 hours by Jillian Michaels, and she kind of gives her 2 cents on CrossFit, what she thinks about it, and discusses a few of the 3 main points that she doesn't like about it, with really out much validity to them, without much understanding of the topics, and really kind of, even though she starts the video off by saying, you know, there's lots of great things about CrossFit, she really just makes this video to kind of bash it. And in my opinion, she's just doing this just for clout. She's doing this to become relevant again. Not that she's like fallen off the face of the earth, but she used to be a very household name with her show, not her show, but the show she was on of The Biggest Loser with her and Bob Harper, whatever his name is, where they would just push people that were obese and or morbidly obese to their absolute limits on their very first day in the gym, which I find funny because you'll see her hypocrisy in the video that she talks about, that we're going to dissect together. So again, this video's been up about the past 24 hours. She posted on her Instagram and on her YouTube as well, which I saw. And I'm going to try my best not to get frustrated or come off rude to her. If I do, it's because I'm passionate about CrossFit. I think there are a lot of amazing benefits of it. But just like anything, too much of something can be a bad thing. Not understanding something fully before you jump into it can be a bad thing as well. So let's watch this video together. Let's dissect what she talks about and kind of really get to the point of what she's saying and if there's actually any validity to it.
So a quick video for you guys on the elements of CrossFit that I don't love. And you might think you have a wee bit over this, and I thought...
It's funny because she's talked bad about CrossFit numerous times, and again, she's bringing it up again because, again, I believe she just wants to be relevant.
But I was noticing a lot of questions coming to me in my app forums about CrossFit and sometimes in the comments on these videos about it, so I figured can't hurt to do a video on it. I am not trying to bash anybody, but when asked a question, I'm going to answer it with my personal opinion.
When asked a question, I'm going to make a video about it for everyone, bashing something that I don't truly understand.
My personal opinion in fitness is based on years of working in fitness and working with individuals who I believe are the best of the best. So when I tell you it's an opinion, it isn't just random, I don't like this. It's based on things that I have learned about and put through paces over decades to see like what works, what doesn't, and why. All right, so first of all, what don't I like? Well, you're taking some of the most advanced fitness modalities in the world. Gymnastics, Olympic lifts, for example. These are for elite athletes, right? And hence the term Olympic lifts. And not only are you making them sort of accessible to the masses, which there are parts of that I like, but parts of it I really don't. For this reason, if we made those things accessible to the masses, then we would have to defer to the expertise of the coach. Like, I would never in my wildest dreams go out and try to teach an Olympic lift. And I have taken probably at least 20 separate training sessions from people who specialize in Olympic lifts, just so I can understand it, get the benefits of it, and I wouldn't even dare to attempt to teach it because it's so technical.
So with that logic, that's pretty much saying like you should never be able to drive a car unless someone that is a NASCAR driver teaches you how to drive, or someone that does F1 racing. So you don't have to be the best at something to learn how to get it done. Also, with that being said, just because you all of a sudden become a CrossFit coach doesn't mean that you teach every single aspect about snatches or clean and jerks on day one. Anyone that starts coaching, that gets their certification, become a coach, will then intern for a prolonged period of time. They'll have coaches shadow them. Every gym has their own process of how they get their newer coaches up to speed and confident enough to be able to lead a class and teach certain movements. But even if you were to get a certification and do a few hours of internship, that is a decent amount of knowledge to get someone to do the basic movement pattern at with a safe weight. You can use an empty barbell, you can use a PVC pipe, you can use a 15-pound trainer bar and get the movement down and get the technique down, because you still have to start from somewhere, even if you work with a professional coach. But for some reason, she thinks you need to go and hire a top-of-the-line coach at $500 an hour, whatever an Olympian coach would cost, in order to learn snatch and clean and jerk. I bet you the people that she learned from also learned from someone else who wasn't an Olympian.
And with something like CrossFit, you can get a certification. The barrier to entry is like this. I mean, when you're teaching somebody gymnastics, you're teaching somebody Olympic lifts, my hope is that you are an absolute pro, the consummate expert, no matter who you're instructing, be it Olympic athletes or, God forbid, the average bear who just wants to go to a workout class.
Just like any other certification you get to become any type of trainer, whether you go through NASM, ACE, all these other certifications, you take an online course. You read through a book and you study the book, and then you go take the online exam, and you now have the certification. What CrossFit does is they have you go in person and learn these movements and learn these methodologies hands-on, so then you can implement them to your CrossFit classes. So if anything, I would feel like a certification through CrossFit makes you more eligible to teach CrossFit than just going and reading a book on the anatomy of a muscle and not truly understanding how to contract that muscle, how to move that muscle, understanding leverage, things like that. So I know plenty of people that have gotten their certifications and in NASM or all these other, millions of ones that are optional out there and don't really know much. Just because you are book smart doesn't make you street smart. You need a good balance of both.
So those are my top two things. My third is I really don't want to understand the trainer logic. I don't get it. It has yet to be explained to me in a way that I really understand. Now, obviously there are some incredible coaches that do have a CrossFit box. There is a guy named Kelly Starrett
Kelly Starrett.
I think he's a genius. He wrote a book called Supple Leopard. The guy is brilliant. I've read his book cover to cover 3 times. And made him a friend because I am such a fan of his work. But not everybody is Kelly Starrett.
How do you make someone a friend? Isn't it like a mutual thing? Or do you walk up to someone and say, hey, you're my friend? Interesting concept.
So when it comes to CrossFit programming, well, I gather it has now sort of evolved into 3 days on, 1 day off. I still don't understand the programming. To me, CrossFit is exercising, but it's not about having a plan, having a training specific program, and then progressing that plan. To me, it seems like beating after beating after beating after beating, unless something has changed.
The basic methodology of CrossFit is constantly varied high-intensity functional movement. So you're not just doing the same movement patterns over and over in the gym. You're not just doing bench press every single Monday. You're not doing back squats every single Tuesday. It's a variety of movements because just like everything else in life, you're not going to always do the same exact thing. There are times where your body's challenged in different ways. That's why we train through different methodologies and different modalities. But what she's saying here is that there's no rhyme or reason to CrossFit. There's no structure. There's no way to progress, even though there's people that do CrossFit for years and years and constantly see PRs following the CrossFit methodology. This is probably the main reason why I decided to make a video on this topic, because she literally just bashes CrossFit, period, with this one topic. What she's going to go into in just a little bit is talking about CrossFit doesn't do just push days or just shoulders and chest days. So now these muscles are getting fatigued, and how are you going to go and work them out the next day if they're already fatigued? Just like everything else in life, you're not going to go and be like, you know what? I did a really long hike yesterday, therefore I'm not going to walk at all today. I'm just going to ride a scooter around all day to make sure that I give my legs plenty of rest. Your body doesn't work that way. Especially if you are someone that's a contractor, you're someone that is a personal trainer, or someone that has a very physically demanding job, you're doing those physically demanding tasks 8, 10, 12 hours, 5, 6 days a week, your body adapts, your body grows, because that's how life goes. You don't just go and say, okay, I'm going to avoid these things because I did a chest workout yesterday. Your life goes on, and you have to be able to adapt with what challenges life throws at you.
When I once was instructed to do a CrossFit workout with an old friend, we did 10 box jumps, 1 burpee, 9 box jumps, 2 burpees, all the way down the ladder. By the time I was done, my shoulders were killing me. I jammed the hell out of my toe from all those burpees, and my form was a mess. And I was like, what is the logic here, other than just me being exhausted? No answer.
So again, let's break down what is CrossFit. Constantly varied, high intensity, functional movements. Constantly varied. You did a movement like burpees and box jumps. I can guarantee you, in that coach's programming, they did not program burpees or box jumps for the next 5, 6, 7 or so days. So you did those movements paired together because they're challenging movements put together, but you're not going to see them again like as if you were doing an upper body split where you might do upper body movements 2 to 3 times a week. High intensity. Burpees and box jumps are very dynamic movements and very easily get your heart rate up and are very intense to execute. Now, obviously, you don't want to go so hard that your technique is totally thrown out the window, and I, as a coach, want no one to be injured, but high-intensity workouts have numerous benefits, just like low-intensity workouts do, which we'll talk about in a second. And then functional movements, a burpee, a very basic movement pattern that requires you to get yourself off the floor. If you're someone that is overweight and you can't get off the floor, if you're an elderly person and you slip and fall and you can't get off the floor, you have a very high risk of having lifelong injuries and or dying because you aren't able to actually get to the help that you might need if you end up breaking a hip or you do something like that. So a burpee is very functional. A box jump, if you are ever going hiking or you're ever out in the woods or you're ever at a situation where you need to be able to get yourself on top of the surface, being able to do a box jump is very practical and very useful, and it helps you be that much more of a functioning human being and get through obstacles you might see in your life. So with that one workout, even though I don't know the exact specific reason of why that coach might have programmed that workout, I don't know what they were at in their programming, but those are the 3 principles of CrossFit, and those 3 principles apply to that workout.
So again, teach me the logic. I want to know the logic.
Someone send Jillian Michaels this video, please, so they can learn the logic.
I don't understand that. On top of which, speaking of trainer logic, when you have exercises that are so technical, like Olympic lifts or gymnastics, why are you doing them for time? So when you say, oh, we're going to do this really technical move, but we're going to do as many reps as we can for time, these are really dangerous things to be doing for time.
I agree with her 1,000%. A snatch, a clean and jerk, a pull-up, a handstand push-up, handstand walk, rope climb, all these movements are very complex, very dynamic, can have very great benefits, and also can cause great injury if not executed with precision and importance. So just like any other trainer out there, if they don't really pay attention to your technique, they let you kind of get away with, cheating reps or moving poorly, then you're more likely to have an injury with that trainer. So unfortunately, there might be some gyms out there that just, hey guys, this is the workout, go ahead and get after it, and kind of just watch people do what they do. But most gyms will go and tell their members, hey, you're going to go at a lighter weight for this workout, or I'm going to have you cut the reps in half, or I'm going to have you do a slightly different variation of this movement because you're new to it and you don't fully have a grasp of it yet. So we're going to shorten the range of motion, or we're going to change the range of motion, or we're going to alter the movement to allow you to be able to be confident and move well and get in a good workout still while still getting the same stimulus. So just because the workout of the day calls for squat snatches doesn't mean that every single person in the class can do squat snatches. Especially for me, when I was coaching, I would go and have someone, hey, you're doing power snatches. Hey, I'm going to have you just work on the overhead squats today. Hey, you're going from the hang position. I could literally give every single person there in the class their own version of the workout to still get in a great workout. But here's the thing, Jillian, you're experienced. So I'm assuming when you went into this CrossFit class, they're going to believe that you have a good amount of coordination, athleticism, balance. You know how to move your body. So they're not going to go and get, hey, Jillian, go grab that PVC pipe. You're going to do this workout with the PVC pipe. They probably gave you some weight. They know you're aware of how your body moves and how it feels and when to take it back if need be. So all these other trainers out there will do the same thing. They understand, hey, this person's never worked out a day in their life before, and they're 50 pounds overweight, and they have really poor mobility. I'm going to alter the movement for them. Again, unfortunately, we can't go and afford Olympic level coaches, or we can't go pay for the best of the best. That's why we have these coaches that are experienced, knowledgeable, and able to get people moving and understand movement the best they can with the level that they're currently at.
Air squat, right? It's not as many push-ups as you can do, by the way, with good form, and your form becomes compromised. By the time I was on the 10 to 1, like burpee 1,575, I was a mess.
I don't know what that is, 1,575. 1 to 10 equals out to be 55 reps. And you also said your shoulders were dying and blown up from doing 55 burpees. I did a challenge a couple of years ago where I did 1,600 burpees over the span of 4 hours, and my shoulders were a little sore the day after, but totally fine. So that goes and shows me that maybe you should work on your mobility, or maybe you should work on your shoulder endurance, because it seems like doing your splits of 3 sets of 8 reps aren't quite cutting it and making it very functional. So maybe actually learn how to move your own body versus just using a machine or using a pair of dumbbells to do it. That came off really rude. I'm getting bitter, but let's kind of wrap up this video a little bit.
So that's another part that I don't understand, taking modalities that are so intense and so technical and doing them for time. That doesn't personally make sense to me.
With that logic, let's say, for example, yesterday I helped my mom's husband move logs and help split logs and store logs for about 3 hours. Should I have gone and moved 10 logs, rested 60 seconds, done another 10 logs, rested 60 seconds, done another 10, and then said, hey, you know, that's all I can do for today. I'll do the rest of them next week. Your body is able to do tremendous things when you actually prepare yourself to do it. When you actually keep your body active and keep it moving, your body can get a lot of things done.
Another time I saw Greg Glassman, who was the original founder, talking about how he didn't believe in muscle splits. I don't know if that's changed, but muscle splits are when you say, okay, I'm going to train certain muscles on certain days, and then I'm going to let them rest while I train other muscles on other days so that I can get optimal recovery. Now, you might build in a rest day after 3 days of CrossFit, which wasn't a thing 5 years ago when I had friends that were obsessed with it.
So it's getting really dark right now. The sun's setting on the other side of the house, so I'm going to try to end this video quick. But that has always been the methodology. Pretty much since the beginning of CrossFit, it's always been 3 on, 1 off. Most CrossFit gyms don't follow that methodology because not everyone at that gym can go on the same exact days of workouts and then rest all on the same exact day. Everyone has different schedules. Everyone has to do their own thing. So that's always been a part of the CrossFit structure. Also, I don't know if she mentioned it just yet. I'm recalling, I've watched this video a couple times before I made the video about it. But then she goes and says, how are you going to do an intense workout, followed by an intense workout, followed by an intense workout? Let's say Monday, you might do a 10-minute workout. That's pretty intense. Tuesday, you might do a 5-minute workout. That's super intense because it's so short, you can go a lot faster. And then Wednesday, you might do a 35-minute workout where you obviously cannot go at the same intensity as a 10 or 5-minute workouts. You have to go slower and be able to sustain and build muscular endurance and cardiovascular endurance. So even though every single CrossFit workout can be very challenging, they are not all super intense to the point where you are constantly beating up your body. As a matter of fact, doing longer sustained workouts of 30, 40, 50 minutes can help aid as a way of active recovery if programmed correctly to help you get back to the gym faster, help you recover faster to then go do those intense workouts again. So not every single CrossFit workout is always 5 to 10 minute workouts of just kick your own ass for that time span and then lay on the floor for 20 minutes catching your breath. Every single day is different. Every single day will have different levels of high intensity, but not maximum intensity.
But if you don't believe in muscle splits, and you're killing yourself as hard as you are in CrossFit day 1, then you're going to go do it again day 2, then you're going to do it again day 3, and the exercises are pull up, push up, sit up, squat, roll ball, battle rope. Like, we're not saying we're doing push muscles on Monday and we're going to let them rest for a few days. So if you're doing the same exercise...
I'm going to stop her mid-sentence that time. But with a typical push split, pull split, squats, or chest, back, arms, things like that, people will do those muscle groups and they will push them to the absolute limits to where they are sore to the touch, their chest is blown out, and they cannot train that muscle for another 3 or 4 days afterwards. Whereas the workout she did, 1 to 10 of burpees followed by 10 to 1 of box jumps, I don't think her legs were totally blown up and sore from 55 box jumps. She says her shoulders were all janky or whatever from the 55 burpees. I don't think her shoulders were so sore she couldn't put on a shirt the next day. When you are able to build the endurance from a CrossFit workout, you're able actually to be able to grow and progress in your CrossFit training, not every single workout is going to make you super sore. Not every single workout is going to kick your butt. But when it comes to split style training, that's the goal. It's how hard can I hit this muscle group because I'm going to take a very prolonged period of rest, because the goal of split training is to maximize muscle growth and or maximize strength. Whereas with CrossFit methodology, it's helping people become slightly stronger, slightly more endured, slightly better at handling challenging movements over a prolonged period of time. So with a split style training, your goal is to maximize one aspect of fitness. Our goal is to get slightly better at many different types of aspects of fitness, excuse me. All right, I'm fast forwarding to the end. We'll do one last little snippet. There's a minute 40 left. We'll probably watch maybe like 30 seconds of it.
So for me, look, I love that people love CrossFit. I love that they love working out. I love that they love the community it provides. But I wouldn't even want somebody doing a yoga workout every day. I wouldn't want you running every day.
So I didn't get this far in the video earlier. She's saying she doesn't want you running 3 days a week. She doesn't want, or 3 days in a row. She doesn't want you doing yoga 3 days in a row. Heaven forbid you do any of those things. So not only is she talking crap about CrossFit, now she's saying crap about any other workout program. So you're saying we shouldn't do a split style training 3 days a week? I shouldn't do push one day, pull one day, squats one day, and then rest? Her logic makes zero sense. She's literally just spouting things that come out of her head like that literally are from different directions, and there's no linear progression in what she's saying. It's the whole video is literally just a grab at trying to get attention back to her, trying to be controversial and trying to get everyone to look at Jillian again. Let's watch one last snippet and then we'll call it there.
I would say if you love it, great. Find an unbelievable coach. And honestly, I think for CrossFit, you need somebody with a degree. Your coach should have a degree in exercise science. I would not be screwing around with Olympic lifts and gymnastics and all these really advanced modalities unless you've got somebody who knows how to modify and program those workouts for the athletes in their class. And I wouldn't do it more than twice a week. Twice a week is good, with at least 2 days off between sessions.
At least 2 days off between sessions? So workout 1 day, 2 days off? Okay.
So those would be my personal recommendations, is if you love it, don't do it more than twice a week. Separate the days. Make sure your coach is top quality.
That's the one thing I'll agree with Jillian. Not every coach is the same. Not every CrossFit box is the exact same. Every single gym has their own style of CrossFit programming. Every gym has their own way of coaching the classes. Every single gym has their own way of teaching their coaches to coach. So I do agree with that one thing that she said. Check out different boxes or CrossFit gyms if you are someone that's interested in starting CrossFit, because I want you to go in there and ask me questions as you have. See if they have experienced people like with your background. Maybe you have no athletic background. Maybe you have never worked out in a day of your life. Maybe you have some kind of crazy injury that really limits you in a lot of movements. See how experienced they are and see if they can help you with where you're at and where you want to be. But going back to one last thing with her remark towards someone that has a degree. Obviously, if someone has a degree, the likelihood of them understanding the whole philosophy of fitness and working out is going to be that much higher. If someone has a whole laundry list of certifications, they're more likely to understand what they're saying and be a much more efficient and better coach. But that is not the end-all be-all. I know people with degrees in kinesiology and exercise science, all these different things, that don't know how to move their body. They decided when they were 17, you know what, I recently discovered fitness and exercise and I love it, I'm going to go and get a degree in it. They have no idea how to actually implement it in a program, how to actually get someone from point A to point B. They just know the middle parts and how to kind of somewhat structure out a program, somewhat get someone better at certain movements or certain exercises, or get them to lose weight or gain muscle and things like that. So just because someone has something next to their name saying, hey, I have a degree or certification or whatever, X amount of experience, I'm an ex-collegiate athlete, doesn't mean anything. Make sure you find a coach that truly understands the methodology, understands how to teach and how to coach, and you trust and believe in, that's actually going to help you get better and help you get the results you're looking for in the gym. But we're going to end the video there. Let me know down below in the comments, guys, what your thoughts are, what you think about Jillian, what you think about CrossFit, and just this whole topic in general, as well as check the description down below for some of the videos I have linked of Jillian and her very scary ways of getting morbidly obese people that are 300 plus pounds to lose weight in their very first day or week or month in the gym and almost kill people. So the hypocrisy is just very funny. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, let me know what you guys want to see in the next video, and I'll see you guys soon.